Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this Good Friday. Wasn't as good as it normally Good Friday is, but it's Friday, and Fridays are always a good Friday no matter what kind of day I actually have. That's the attitude I'm going to bring in today. I got Carlos, Mad New Yorker Chavez, Mr. Dependable, back behind the stage here. We're going to talk a little bit of Jeffrey Simmons. Big contract signed this afternoon. Kudos to Jeffrey Simmons. I think he's worth every penny of it. Interesting story about him. Plus, just going to go over a few things with Carlos. Ask him about the just Joel Embiid thing. Also, we'll get into I don't know what else. Ask him some of his ideas of the draft for a team like the Titans, the Jets, and of course the Giants in the first round. His thoughts on this playing game and more on Sports Scope. But first, we'll go ahead and get our first and only break in, and we'll be back here in 49 seconds. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. Alrighty then, Carlos, how you doing, man?
Yo.
Good to see you.
Happy Good Friday, everybody. Happy Easter weekend. Happy religious weekend for all those who are not, Christian. You're Jewish. You're Muslims. Everybody's enjoying their whole spiritual month here in April. So
yeah, happy Masters weekend too, right?
Oh, all the golfers, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Brooks Koepka out there balling out right now.
Koepka. Man. Tiger's close. He's getting there.
Did Tiger make the cut?
No, he's too behind right now to make it a cut for all those who are wanting to know right now. So,
yeah,
we'll
I think there's some kind of rain delay, right? Earlier.
Yeah. They just called it out there. Said it was so windy that it knocked down 2 pine trees that were older than Keith. So.
The way those trees went down, they may have been older than Jack Hirsch.
Jack is cool. Hey, yo, listen, Jack used to box, so you got to be careful talking about.
Got to be careful. He's quick with his hands. He's like Uncle Junior from Sopranos, huh, Pickles?
Yo,
he may have me whacked.
Yeah, man, you got to be careful with Jack.
Yeah, I love Jack. He's great.
He's good. He's good with his hands riding, and he's good with his hands and his 1-2. So you got to be careful with him.
He's very modest, very modest. Hey, what do you think about Tennessee? They signed Jeffrey Simmons for our audience. Maybe somebody didn't notice it. That's a lot of money, brother.
I said about 4 hours ago the deal went down. It was it's right now it's a huge thing going around on Twitter and everything. So I think the best thing that could happen from that deal is that he's still on his 5th year. So this deal don't even kick in till next year. So,
right.
So they're going to Tennessee's going to be okay. As far as the salary cap, they're going to be all right with that. They'll figure it out. They'll do the math. But the defense stays stout, right? If you take him out of the mix, it hurts the Titans. They go from Titans to little Giants. So, you gotta like it.
Hey, that was one of my favorite kid movies growing up.
Yo, Icebox.
Hey, that's right. Okay, let me give you these numbers real quick. 4-year extension, $94 million contract, $66 million guaranteed, including a $24 million signing bonus. Those are some big numbers there. Now, listen, he's a defensive tackle. And according to Pro Football Focus, he's 9th in the league. He is Tennessee's Aaron Donald. You look at guys like Chris Jones, Pickles from the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody needs a strong player for to play the nose of the football. If you recall, Carlos, I don't know if you remember this, but back in 2019, Jeffrey Simmons tore his ACL at the combine that year.
Yeah.
And the Titans were picking late in the draft. They got a top 10 pick in the 20s. They took a gamble on him. One of the better moves by John Robertson. He comes in October that year and just plays outstanding football 8 months after tearing his ACL. He has never let up ever since. There's certain positions you pay in this league: defensive tackle, cornerback, edge rusher, left tackle, quarterback, of course. Those are positions you pay in this league. Teams that have top quality players at those positions usually have Super Bowl trophies.
Right. Now, and like another thing, don't hate on a man trying to make some money.
Yeah.
He's still going to get paid less than 11 million this coming year. So
yeah.
His money don't kick in until next year. When it does, even if he's making that money or not, he's going to be making hits, and letting people know that he's somebody to worry about and double team. So he's going to be okay. The Titans, they're working on getting better there. The thing that they got to do is drop the excess weight and get a quarterback, man. Or let that young guy come in and play quarterback that played last year, finishing the season. He didn't look too bad, and I say you make him the number one quarterback and just move forward, because you can't have all this extra baggage and you still got a young running back. You got to make sure that O-line's picked up the pace a little bit. So there's a few things the Titans have to do, but they always gonna be in the mix, guys. You guys down there in Tennessee, you guys, you gotta relax. We gotta lay off the gravy and biscuits.
Aaron Rodgers already in town, Carlos.
Yeah, lay off the biscuits and gravy and chill out on the spicy chicken, man. Y'all need to chill out a little bit. The Titans are gonna be okay. You have a better team than the Jets and Giants right now, so just relax,
Wow. Well, the Giants beat Tennessee in week 1
last year. A lot of teams beat a lot of other teams. That stuff don't matter at the end of the season. There's no championship nowhere in New York football this year or this past year, and there wasn't one in Tennessee either. But look, at the end of the day, both fell short, right?
If you're the Titans? Remember, I sent you this earlier. What do you think they do with that 11th pick? That's a great transition. And what would you do if you're the general manager for a day? And you're in charge of that 11th pick. What do you think they do first? What do you think Tennessee does with that 11th pick, Carlos?
I roll the dice if I'm Tennessee. Right now the news about this draft is that it's already not too deep on the top end. So You're going to get a lot of guys who want to prove that they deserve in the league in the middle rounds, especially 2 to 4. So I say, trade it. Get you some depth on your team.
Okay.
You're not going to get a quarterback, right?
Right.
I know. So
well, possibly. I don't know, man.
Don't do it.
I probably wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't do it, man.
And so you're gonna just look, make your team's good. Just make it better by giving you some depth. The top O linemen will be gone by that number, I believe.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure.
It's a lot of the offensive linemen that are projected. Darrell Wright from Tennessee is actually potentially going the first round as well.
Yeah, that's
4 right there. Left tackles.
Yeah, that's because there's like a lack of depth and of top rated players. Now, I'm not going to be putting nobody down and calling them no Joe Schmoes. I'm just saying what these people and these analysts are saying, and what these all these guys who.
So you trade that down. Who do you select once you trade it down? What position?
I will go with the O line. I'll go with the O line and the D line.
Okay.
Cover those holes up. You need somebody to make holes. Derrick Henry can hit you and he can bruise you, but you want to make sure that he's doing that to like cornerbacks and safeties. You don't want him to go against O linemen all the time. That'll wear and tear. Someone like him, just give him a little window, give him a little crack at the door. He'll go through that and then he can smack around other people. But you don't want him to get stopped at the line and him trying to force his way through and work hard for those yards. If you want to win, you want him as fresh and good to go in the 3rd and 4th running. You don't want him tired in the 3rd and 4th. So so that's what I would do. I'd definitely get me and then you get the D line to you already got Simmons there, so you buddy him up with other people, and then they got a double. So you can get a second or third rounder D lineman, and he's gonna be good because they already got to worry about Simmons and people like that.
Yeah, I agree, Pickles. They definitely need a. Ideally,
with the wide receivers, Pickles, you can like your son says all the time, you can get them all over the place. You can pick them off the picket line, at the union shop.
Well, he says slot now.
You don't need a slot.
If any way they can find that Jay Flowers guy in the second round,
no way.
I don't think he'll fall that, but I'm saying he's good, man.
Unfortunately, that name's been thrown around here in New York.
Zay Flowers. I missaid his name. It's Zay, Z-A-Y.
Yeah, his name's been thrown around here for a couple of teams here in New York. I understand, man. But whatever, like, it's not like these guys don't have value, because if you work for it, you should get paid, right? That's with anything that you do, right? And I'm not saying that wide receivers don't deserve it, but you got to have a guy that can get you the ball anyways. So, you got to wait.
I like the fact that you guys agree with me, though.
Well,
they need a left tackle like nobody's business, man.
Yeah, here's the thing. You're going to throw your pick at a wide receiver
not the first pick. He's saying a left tackle in the slot.
In the slot wide receiver.
Yeah, if you say left tackle first, he wants a left tackle in the first round.
Okay, even with the wide receiver, you're gonna
Jalen Hyatt, dude. You watched Tennessee last year. He ran well too, by the way, in the 40.
All right, Robert.
I think they could get him in the second round. Seriously.
Yeah, here's the thing. Let's just say about Tennessee players in the NFL who will go to the first round, kind of in the last 10 years, are kind of like
But they have a new coach now.
Yeah, but still, they don't. It just depends on like the schemes and then some of these players and where they fall and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying they're not NFL.
We're stuck in the past, brother. Look back farther.
I'm trying to be.
Peyton Manning was a first round pick. Jamal Lewis is a pretty good player.
Who?
Peerless Price, Jamal Lewis, Peyton Manning, Reggie White.
That's like late 90s, early 2000s. What's going on in the last 10 years?
But you act like Tennessee players are all garbage, brother. I mean, come on, man.
Whoa. Why are you putting words in my mouth?
Oh, okay. All right.
What I'm saying is that the top picks of Tennessee players haven't always come out. Like, listen, even Josh Dobson coming out as a QB, he wasn't the top rated pick, but Dobbs, yeah.
Yeah, Dobbs was
he tore it up as a QB in college. So
yeah,
I mean, like, so now that he's in Tennessee, I feel like they should just give him the job and just work with him.
Well, he's already signed with he's already signed as a backup with Cleveland. Actually,
did he go to Cleveland already?
Yeah, that's what I was telling Chad earlier. He asked me that the other day on the program.
That's that. Bad news bears for the Titans, man. They don't do the stuff when they need to with these QBs.
I agree with Pickles. I mean, sometimes I can go too hard against Tennessee, but I think this group is really good, man. I mean, I don't drink any of the Kool-Aid. I go hard on them.
Yo, but Robert, what happens is that we see these guys coming out of these top-rated schools, these bowl-winning games schools, and then in the NFL, and you're like, yo, what happened? Ohio State QBs, Alabama QBs. Like Alabama's got great wide receivers, a lot of them.
But their receivers aren't bust, and neither are Ohio State's receivers.
Yeah, but the quarterbacks, so it's always something for something. And sometimes some of these kids go so hard in college that when they get to the NFL, they just kind of go somewhere else,
Hyatt reminds me of Mike Evans. I've been saying that from day one.
Yeah, I don't like to compare guys. I said this earlier today when I was a kid. I hate comparing players to players. But, like sometimes you got to.
Well, my whole point is I think he would be there in the second round.
Yeah, probably. That's.
And Tennessee's got the 10th pick in the second round. If you don't recall, Miami does not have a pick in the first round. So there's only 31 picks in the first round.
Give away the first rounders, guys. Build your team up. You build through the draft. You have less of a preseason anyway, so you cutting guys left and right. You picking up guys that get cut from second and third round anyways from around the league after preseason. So don't hurt yourself where you can make yourself better, in other ways. So plus that's a contract that you got to give out at the end of the day, right? Is your team ready to pay for a top-rated contract for a player that's not gonna, put out? You know what I'm saying?
That Tennessee is very thin at wide receiver at this moment. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't sign another free agent. Jarvis Landry's still out there, by the way. Yeah.
But
it is what it is.
I like how you going back on like saying you can get a wide receiver any single day you want, like that ends with Y, and then you're like, well,
look, did you want a veteran receiver to kind of guide some of the guys? I mean,
yeah, but Robert
Braylon Burks is a second-year player, man.
We all know this, and the truth is that who's throwing the ball. It don't matter. It don't matter the receiver at the end of the day. Who's throwing it to him, right? Because who's throwing the ball?
You've been watching Sports Scope.
Whoever's throwing him the ball is gonna matter whether he's gonna be able to catch it anyways, right?
Yeah.
Like some receivers are so good
I'm glad you've been paying attention, brother.
Like some receivers can catch anything, right? But there's not many of those kind of guys.
There's not many DeAndre Hopkins out there. That is true, brother.
And then some guys can run routes like nobody's business, but then there ain't that many. There are many of those guys. And then you have the slot guys who are pesky and get those little harder in 3 to 5 yards, and not a lot of guys want to do that either. So, like you got to build a team, but first you got to know who's slinging the rock.
No, I agree with you, and I'm not changing course. I'm just
like if you have Tannehill as your quarterback,
yeah,
if that's your starter, you got to get guys that try to catch the ball anywhere.
Yeah,
you don't need fast guys. Look, that whole experiment with Julio Jones, even though he was already
my God,
he's already been cooked. He wasn't. That was a failed experiment in Tennessee, right?
Man, right? That was one of the worst moves.
Right. But then who was on the other side that kind of made Tannehill look like a superstar was A.J. Brown, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like this, you have to find a guy that could complement.
It's like 80% quarterback, 20% receiver. Maybe even 90%. It's mainly about the quarterback. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
And you could, I don't only want to mention his name, but even like OJ, like Beckham was like
Odell Beckham.
Yeah. Odell Beckham, like, come on, man. Like,
I thought you were about to say O.J. Simpson. No, he was a running back, man.
He's just it's like, yo, calm down.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Not anybody can use you because and you're not willing to go with where anybody wants you anyways. You want to go where you want to go, so you're not making it easy for anybody, right? So, and that's not a bad thing, For him, that's good because now you know who he is, you know what he can do. And then but look at the guy that was with him, and he's been struggling to stay on the field because he gets injured a lot. What was his boy's name?
Landry?
Huh?
Jarvis Landry?
Yeah, Landry. Like he's not a bad wide receiver. He just can't stay healthy, right?
Yeah. He's going to have to come in much cheaper than what he may be asking. Then again, maybe teams are just looking at that and thinking maybe this guy is too injured prone.
Yeah, man. What he's been in. But he's been on the Saints, right?
Yeah.
He's been on Dolphins.
Yep.
He's been on
Browns.
The Browns, like. This guy, if the NFL was a worldwide situation, his passport book would be almost full.
So here's the same question. You're out of New York. What's your deal with the Giants? If you got the Giants pick, man.
No, man, like the Giants
25th pick, what do you do, man? I'll take that. I'll take the tight end from Utah.
You would. No, but look, here's the deal with the Giants. Like they bringing back everybody from 2019 back on the team. I don't know if they want to win. I think they just like to make memories because they just like. You got to get younger. You got to get faster. You got to get guys that can play. But again, who's throwing the rock?
Yeah.
You putting a team together because you don't trust your quarterback that you just signed.
The lesser quarterback you got, the better tight ends you need because they're easier targets to hit.
So now what? Who do the Giants? The Giants got 55 picks this year.
Well, they've got that 25th pick.
They got a lot of picks, bro.
Do they really?
Which is going to help them.
Yeah.
So seriously, no, but. A lot of the Flowers that's coming out, a wide receiver, cornerback, safety, even maybe an O lineman, depending on if they're left. So, even maybe an edge. It just depends on the most athletic guy that's on the list at that moment, right? You got to pick the best. And if those 4 guys that you really want aren't there, move up or move down or whatever it is.
Yeah, they got quite a few. I mean, they've got a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 2 fifths, 1 6, 2 and 3 7s. Yeah, that's a pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, the draft used to be like 12, 13, 14 rounds. It's only 7 rounds nowadays.
It used to be you could just watch the first round and then the second round it kind of does off, and then you just you watch different games, but you see the ticker like who's getting picked.
Kind of boring. It's really one of the most overrated things past the first day I've ever seen, but we still get hyped up every year.
You got to know. You want to know.
Then we get let down as soon as it's over with. It's like, okay, now we got to wait 4 or 5 months to see these guys play.
Yeah, then they're on the team, and then you cut them, and you're like, why'd you cut them?
Man, I was all hyped up on Sunday and draft day. Yeah, the Giants got the 25th pick. I think they should go after that's Kincaid from Utah.
Yeah, but he got to be there.
Or Michael Mayer from Notre Dame is also getting a lot of hype too.
Okay, so wide receivers like Hyatt, they have Reed, and then there was another one here that
one of those receivers will be there.
And then there was who was the other guy that was
Addison didn't run a good full.
Yeah,
he didn't want a good 40. He's got a USC. Yeah.
That's like the wide receivers. That's like 3 of the wide receivers that they're talking about they want. Then the O-line, they got Tittman from Wisconsin, right?
Okay.
We got him written down here.
Wisconsin's had some good Joe Thomas came from Wisconsin. He's probably a Hall of Famer.
Torrance out of Florida, right?
Okay.
And then another one here for the O-line was Avila from TCU. So those are like three that were mentioned.
Are those interior guys?
Yeah.
Look at you doing your homework, man.
You're
gonna be the next Mike Golick.
Nah, man, come on, look. This is how erratic New York is right now because they still living in 2019. So here they have cornerbacks. They got Banks from Maryland that they're looking at. That is on the sheet for a lot of these recruits. Phillips out of Utah. Phillips the third, right?
Okay.
And then they
do need to help at corner, but Adoree Jackson's holding his own, by the way.
Yeah, but you need to compliment Adoree Jackson. You got Love, and you need one more guy, right? And then they have what was the other guy here that I had down? Garrett Williams from Syracuse.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
I have not heard those names. Look at you, man.
Yeah. So that's like rounds between.
Who would you prefer to get?
For the Giants?
The lineman and the offensive lineman?
Bro, just line them up, man. Just bring in the hogs, man. Make them work. You don't or even the D lineman, because you can't ever get enough of those guys. Things always happen. And, and you got a quarterback that he's had 2 good years. You gave him a contract for 10, whatever.
Got to look at your the Giants depth chart. I thought the Giants had a pretty good D line.
The D line's it's decent. It's decent, but you can never get enough guys what I'm saying?
Yeah, Dexter Lawrence and
Dexter Lawrence.
Hold on, I have to wait till it comes up here. I know there's a guy from Oregon there.
Oh yeah, and another guy
Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, K1 Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm.
At cornerback, Adoree Jackson and Jared Davis. I mean, you're okay at corner. Now Jackson does get a little banged up every now and then.
Yeah, and
that's why Tennessee let him go, Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, and Thibodeau's he's young, and you don't want to get him worn out, so you want somebody next to him or around him to give him the space that he needs. Because if you see him in college, he worked a lot better coming around with space, coming through schemes and stuff. So you don't need him to be thinking.
Oh, they did sign Darren Waller. I forgot about that. But you know something? You put another tight end on the other side of Darren.
Darren Waller's gonna.
You don't know if he's gonna play 16 games.
Yeah, and another thing with Darren Waller is he's kind of like what I mentioned on the other day. Like he's also like a Graham, where he's more of a wide receiver than he is a blocker. You don't want this guy getting hit up by big outside linebackers or D linemen. You don't want your tight end doing that.
Yeah, maybe they should add some depth at corner, but Waller's post 30 years old.
Yeah,
I think he played 11 games last year. I would probably if one of those really high end tight ends, you want to get a guy to maybe play the other side. I'm not in love with Bellinger. that other guy they have. I mean, maybe they cut him, Daniel Bellinger. They got Jamison Crowder. Crowder has been a shell of himself last year. Sterling Shepard, if you ever keep him healthy, he's a good slot guy.
Come on, man. This guy.
But that's the 2019 guy, huh?
Yeah, that's the team, right? The same team that they put out there. You know, I mean, if I'm the OC, I'm thinking, you know,
it's probably wide receiver. I mean, Paris Campbell, Isaiah Hodges. I like Slate, but come on, man. You probably need a bigger threat than that. But you just can't trust Waller to be, again, with the Waller thing. And I wouldn't even assign back the running back, but, you know, what I know.
Just to be honest with you, and this didn't stick on my wall, but there was talks of even them picking up a quarterback and Bryce Young if he's available.
That would be wild after signing Daniel Jones to a contract.
Why would that be wild?
That would be the story of the draft, man.
Oh God, I don't know, man.
So what do you think about the Jets then? You're up in New York. What's your thoughts on the Jets? They pick at 13.
Yeah, so I was talking to Keith this morning, and I was like, the Jets have had as much luck with picking in the first round as the Texans. Like, come on, man. Like, just get rid of that pick, and just, you know, get Rodgers done, get him out of the airways, and just go forward, man. That 13 pick really, there's no value unless you get value from it. And I guess the best value for the Jets at this moment will be just that they got a quarterback out of it, right?
Yeah.
Because who the Jets picking that is going to make their team better out their team?
Oh, maybe a tackle, man.
A tackle. They got 4 or 5 O-linemen.
Barrett Tucker or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they got to figure it out there before they even pick somebody, right? So,
yeah,
you know,
apparently Joe Douglas is high on some players for him not to come off that pick. And Green Bay's not going to give up that pick. Apparently it's supposed to be, it's going to come down to like draft day drama, man.
Yeah, and the thing is that the Jets, even if they kept that pick, I would still trade it because that team you have is young. And you want more depth because they are young. They're not older guys, so you're gonna rely on speed and freshness, right? So you can't keep these guys on the field forever. So you just, you know, the luck hasn't been there for them at the first round. So, you know.
Well, they had the first round rookie of the year and the defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
You think that was just luck?
Yeah, it's luck. And did they get us? Name a number one draft pick for the Jets that have gotten the Super Bowl for them.
They got them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, none. So okay, here we go. Next, what's it? What
that's it. Yeah, well, they ain't been to the Super Bowl since 1968 with Joe Namath,
which is even worse. Yeah, no, you know, I mean, come on. Sometimes you got to be real. You know, you can be optimistic, and you. Can
I forgot who I picked them taking. I think I had them taking that Georgia tackle.
Oh,
I wanted to say.
I mean, that's not a bad pick, but again, why deal with paying somebody a high rookie contract who might not even be on your team and play more than 8 games? Like, you know, those are the things you got. That's reality. That's the things you got to think about, you know, because they always hit that wall, right? The first year,
Broderick Jones, offensive tackle from Georgia. Yeah.
You know, a lot of those players hit the wall, and then they, you know, they're learning and they're not used to nothing yet. Like even the Giants when they picked Evan Neal, like he was a good player in college, but he was like the worst rated.
It seems like he's struggling.
He was the worst.
They ended up moving him to right, and Andrew Thomas is a good left tackle for the Giants, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, Neal will be better. He can't go. I mean, now that he's rated one of the worst, he can't get any worse than that, and he will have to get better, right? That's the whole hope for the O lineman there in the Giants. So the same thing goes with the Jets. Like they had Breece Hall who got hurt, and then you know they came in with Carter, right? And and then now
I think he's underutilized last year.
Yeah, well, there's no again. The Jets fall into.
Well, it goes back to the Broderick Jones. I mean, you have to get that. And I was talking about this earlier in the week, and I may have mentioned it to you. Kansas City, you know, they've got 2 Super Bowls, but I feel like they got a little overconfident. They being Brett Veach, their general manager. He let Orlando Brown walk in free agency because he didn't want to overpay him.
Right.
And there were rumors he was trying to get a much higher graded left tackle in the trade, Laremy Tunsil from Houston,
Yep.
and both of them fell through. Orlando Brown signed somewhere else, and Tunsil signed a 3-year extension with Houston. That could come back. The guy they did sign, this Jawan Taylor, he's a right tackle, and they've lost their other right tackle, so they may make a move in the draft to get a left tackle.
And the one thing about Kansas City that a lot of people tend to forget is that defense last year was fresh, bunch of freshmen. They had a lot of young guys on that defense.
Yeah, they did.
And it worked in their favor at the end of the day, because when those other guys are like slowing down, those guys are just ready to go, and they were optimistic, and they did a good job there in Kansas City with having depth. Keyword. And
Tyreek Hill trade really helped that too, man.
Yeah. So
that cornerback they got turned out to be great for them.
Yeah, and then when push comes to shove, at the end of the day, you want a guy sitting on your bench who's not doing anything as a QB, and you're waiting for year 3 for him to be better, or are you going to go out with these guys at interior linemen, cornerback, safeties who can play the game for you right away and do a good job, right? Or like they're not gonna be great, but they'll do good enough. And if you have offense that can score 27 points plus a game, you'll be okay.
Yeah. I just hope that they just didn't get ahead of themselves and get Mahomes hurt. But then again, hey, you can't win the Super Bowl every year, even if you're a dominant team. Switching gears to the round ball, like Jim Carrey would say in the movie Cable Guy. Do you think there's too much talk about Joel Embiid when this MVP thing, or you think that's just the media making a big deal of it? What's Doc Rivers up there saying it's hands down? Hey, man, why don't you go out and win a championship for once?
Yeah,
then we'll talk about that.
As much as I'm a Knicks fan and a New York fan here, and the Nets and all that jazz, and you know that I follow sports. Like, I've been telling you guys for almost 3 seasons now, blow up Philadelphia, blow it up. And then they got rid of Ben Simmons in the Brooklyn trade, and there wasn't anybody that was going to go into Philadelphia and fix that situation with the bad contracts that you gave Joel Embiid and Tobias. There wasn't there's nothing you can do. That's it. You could get, bring on any coach. It's not going to help you. Those two guys, there's no mix, batter, nothing that can help that situation. So 2 years
Does
ago,
Rivers think that it's already over? He's just trying to play up that MVP talk.
He's a coach. He's just there. And like, at the end of the day, Philly wanted to keep Embiid around. They gave him the extension 2 years ago, and they're stuck with that deal. They can't move him unless somebody's willing to pay, and I'm not sure anybody wants to risk that. Yeah. That'd be like trying to pick up Anthony Davis, which I told you they should have done. They should have just switched Davis for Embiid, right?
Oh, I don't know about that. Davis is hurt all the time too.
Well, you got it's the same thing. It's the same players, different uniforms, man. Like what? So, besides the fact that Tobias didn't like playing with Simmons or Embiid, now he just don't like playing with Harden. Harden don't want to be there. He's talking about going back to Houston. That's just a mess there in Philadelphia.
Right.
It happened there because he wanted to sell jerseys instead of build a proper team. Now, I can't speak bad about Embiid because Embiid is a MVP type of player. Again, he might be the best player on your team, but he's one of those best player on your teams that don't help the team get better.
And I'm looking at the box score. I don't even think Giannis is playing tonight. I will say this. If I wanted to find something to give it to Embiid for, the new CBA is you have to play 65 games in order to be eligible. And remember I said that. I said that before.
You said that last year.
That's good. 65 is fair. Right. Out of 82, Embiid has hit that mark. He's hit 65. His numbers are fantastic. Giannis is not playing tonight, and I think he's at 61 or 62. And I love Giannis. Giannis should get it. Now, that being said, the new CBA doesn't go into effect until the next year. Right. I think Giannis should get it because they've got the better record, and he's got a better rebound and assist.
Embiid has kept Philly relevant, but they're not. I don't feel like they would even do good in a playoff game. Like, and it's not even coaching, man. I'm telling you guys, it's like.
You know, Philly sports guy is not a Doc Rivers guy.
No, he's been talking down. He's like, "Oh no, get rid of Rivers. You gotta quit." Like everybody on that team has to quit. Philly sports guy. Everybody needs to go away. Like just like maybe keep Maxey and then find another
Yeah,
player.
Maxey's like what, 23 now?
Yeah, like maybe
he's still very young.
Maybe find like another like draft a player or find a player somewhere that needs to be in a different situation that's young, and just build around a team. But Embiid.
But you're done with Embiid.
Look. If I was a team in the NBA, I would not look for a player like Embiid to build a team around. Just like I wouldn't look around to build a team around Anthony Davis. Like it's a very high risk, low reward. You know, and there's nothing against those guys. They
What about the principle of concentrating on MVP over championships?
Yeah, I mean,
does that sound ridiculous?
Look, there's going to be guys out there who are MVP who will never win a championship, right? Yeah. So that has nothing to do with anything. At the end of the day, it's just your situation and what team you're in, right? What team you're on. Like, so.
Yeah, I'm saying the idea of just constantly talking about that rather than what can we do to get better to win this championship or get better in the regular season to have a better record, you know, so we'll have a better position in the playoff rather than Embiid should win the MVP and this thing is over, man. He's the only one that scored. I'm like, well, coach, that's your problem. Why aren't you drawing up better plays, Doc Rivers? Did you hear what he said the other day?
It's not even him drawing up plays. Like they're just feeding him the ball, or he's just taking it and scoring. Like he's not making. He's just winning for the team.
You're saying he's like Shaq and Blue Chips with Penny Hardaway.
He's not making the team better.
You remember them Penny and Shaq days? Just give it to Shaq.
Yeah,
Shaq's like, I'm getting tired. You have to give it to somebody else for a minute.
I mean, I feel bad for that Orlando team, right? They were one player short.
Yeah.
One player short, like, you know, because they had.
Well, Hardaway got an injury and he couldn't quite ever come back from it, you know? And Shaq went on to LA and the rest is history, you know?
I feel bad for that. I mean, because they had those players around him, Dennis Scott, Anderson.
Horace Grant, remember, he signed as a free agent from Chicago.
Yeah, like they had a decent nucleus, man, and they just one player short. Had they had what's this guy? Robert Horry, they probably would have won a championship. Right?
A better wing that could shoot.
Yeah,
possibly, man. I want to say Nick Anderson played with them, but then again, I may be off a little bit on years.
Horry was on that team. They probably would have won a championship.
Horry's a lucky mother effer, man. Lord forgive me, but that is one lucky son of a gun. So, anyways, let me ask you. I've never asked you this before. What is your thoughts on this playing game? It's kind of got like an NCAA tournament thing to it. I like the playing game.
You know what? I don't like it in the NBA because of these guys resting. If this is such an issue, NBA, if this becomes such like a thing that the players and coaches and everybody like, if I'm buying a ticket, man, the stars better be on the court, like, and to play the last game to qualify for a playing game and then rest everybody, like that's obnoxious. Yeah. Like I think like this, if it's become such an issue that because everybody needs to rest anyways, and then it's a different game. Yeah. Just make the season shorter, man. Like shorter.
Well, you make a good point for the audience, Carlos. Everybody that's 1, 2, 6, they got all the next week off. The playoffs don't start until a week from Saturday.
Yeah, so I mean, and I'm not haven't been buying any tickets, and I haven't gone to a lot of games lately, and I won't because I don't know who's going to be.
How much would a playoff game be between? It's probably going to be Cleveland and the Knicks.
Yeah, so the Knicks sent me the playing game ticket.
No, they're already in. They're 5.
Yeah, what I'm saying is they sent me the ticket offers for the.
Oh, okay.
And like one of the worst seats was like $500.
Oh.
And it was like, because I was like, oh, $500.
Yeah, I got that laying around here.
And I was like, all right, let's see what $500 gets you. And it's like, ooh, you up there with the band. You up there touching the ceiling up there, you know, like nobody can hold us. Like you just like this.
You remember? Was you living up there during Hurricane Sandy?
Yeah, well, that was a time when I was up around here.
Yeah. Steve Sharippa. Did you watch that show, Sopranos?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I I haven't seen Sopranos yet. I know
It-
what
it-
it's
it-
about.
yeah,
I see maybe half a show of that. And what had happened when Sopranos came out
yeah.
was I was working an airport job, so I was managing the store at the airport. So I never got a chance to just sit down, relax, and do. And I'm
Yeah.
one of those guys that I didn't want to wait for the next week to see the show.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll catch it on the flip. It's like on one of my.
Did you ever watch it on replay? No.
No, not yet. It's on.
It's very
on,
good, man. If you
I-
guys get a chance to watch it, it's good. But so one of the characters, Steve Sharippa, and this guy's in Blue Bloods and stuff. He's an actor in New York. He's like when he was talking about the mayor of Bloomberg when people were out of power and stuff there in Sandy. Well, just go to the town and catch a show. And he's like, yeah, like you got $500 just laying around. This guy is such an elitist. He was talking about the mayor. And Bloomberg's like this billionaire. Yeah, like you could just $500 go to the Knicks game, and sit in the right. What do you think is close to courtside? 25, 30,000?
I'm not. I don't even want to find out. I don't want to know.
100,000. I mean, that's ridiculous, man.
Well, the one
closest I got, I've worked in a building above there on
42nd.
Was it West 34th?
West 34th. Yeah.
Madison Square Garden, man. That's gonna be a great series, though. That may be the best first round, if not less. Phoenix plays
right.
Golden State. Excuse me.
Yeah, it'll be one of the most competitive for sure. But then whoever wins that, I don't think can move on. Like,
probably not.
They'll just expend all that energy and.
Yeah, and this is weird. The way the NBA is set up, once they have their brackets are set. Other words, like in the NFL, the highest seed always plays the next lowest seed. It don't work that way in NFL. Once you're set up, you just play whoever's in that side. It's very NCAA. I don't like that.
Was the first round is best of 5, right?
No, that's back in the day. I wish it was like that though.
Best of 3?
No, it's best of 7. You got to win 4.
Oh Lord, Jesus.
You got to win 4. They got greedy, Carlos. They got greedy, man.
What a drag, bro. What a drag.
Yeah. Now the playing game, the 7 and 8, they play. If whoever wins, they get the 7 seed, and then that's it. And then the loser will play the winner of the 9 and 10. The loser of the 9 and 10, they're totally done. So if you're 7-8, you just got to win one game to get in.
It's like trying to buy your way back into a game in 21.
At first, I hated it, but now that I kind of like it. I would love to see next week. Now, during the week's going to be the playing games.
Right.
I would love to see Minnesota somehow have to play the Lakers because if you listen to national media, the Lakers are the greatest thing since they're the 2001 Lakers. If you listen to
every time they win a game, you're like, oh, they're gonna win a championship. Like, come
right. If you listen to Shannon Sharp, they're done. They're ready, man. They're gonna win 74 games.
I'm still upset that the Mavericks beat Sacramento. I'm like, man, Sacramento, come on.
If the Mavericks lose, they're out tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, what a bust that was, huh? Making that trade for Kyrie.
Okay, so what team needs a player like Kyrie?
A team that don't need a headache.
There's nothing against Kyrie because he's like probably one of the best.
He'll probably go to the Lakers. That's why I was telling Mac and Jack and Jeff Colt.
He's like probably one of the best.
Dallas, they're down 8-5 to Chicago right now.
He's one of the best guards in our generation, right? So he's
got handles, man.
Yeah, but here's a problem. Here's a problem is that they got him. And then also you have one of the best players in
I think so too, Pickles.
In the half court in Luka Doncic, right? And Luka.
Mm-hmm.
So you put two guys that are almost the same exact player except they're different heights, and one is actually a better shooter than the other. But they're both who wanted the ball. So you didn't that team is just not put together well. And you try to get a superstar to try to help you and try to get you into the playoffs, but you picked the wrong superstar.
It was kind of like C.J. McCullough and who's the star up there in Portland? Damian Lillard.
Lillard, yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're the same guy. You know,
It's last names. Like
some guys make the adjustment and some don't. I was surprised Chris Paul made the adjustment, and Houston became as good as they were dealing with Westbrook, who is just impossible. You know,
and another thing is like, so
Pickle says Kyrie's a coach killer. Yeah,
even if
he's the reason why you don't need guaranteed contracts.
Even if you would have kept Brunson,
yeah,
Brunson is just.
Aren't you glad the Knicks got Brunson?
No, because there's nobody to. There's no. Right now, the team is grimy. They're young. They're quick. And Brunson is he plays better in open space than in the half court anyway. Okay. So he makes those guys better in that retrospect. Dallas would have just still been. He still would have been stunned in being on a Mavs with Luka, because you saw when Luka got hurt, Brunson was able to come up and be actually, be a leader and then also be a contributor and made the team a little bit better. The problem with Dallas is that they're not deep enough with their players that they have anyways.
Brunson's not even playing tonight.
Yeah. So even for the Knicks, Brunson's a good player, but he would be an even greater player if there was they need like 2 or 3 other players on the Knicks, or they need to get rid of 2 or 3 other players on the Knicks to get guys that are younger and quicker. It's just, the Knicks want to be young, quick, and fast, but they can't, and they have to start a half-court game that they're not actually good at because they have a guy like Randall, right?
Do you think Randall will come back?
If he does or he doesn't, it doesn't matter.
I can't see. It would be huge for that coaching staff to knock out Cleveland, but I just can't see them beating Cleveland, man.
Yeah, there's no.
Cleveland's just got too much talent.
Cleveland has 3 guys that play together better anyways, that complement each other. And that's all the thing is about a team, is they have to complement each other. And I've been telling you this, and this is why, Tibbs needed to go, was because 2 years ago I've been saying this. Just bring the young guys up and play them and run them. Give them experience, and they'll feed off each other and they'll get better. But what they do, they waited 2 years, and 2 years too late, buddy. Like if you had to listen to me, you would already have gotten rid of Rose. You would have gotten rid of all those older guys and been like, you either got to go one way or the other way. The way that the NBA is played nowadays, when you have a mixture of youth and older players, it just seems like the older players will kill you, because if they get hurt or they don't play.
I've always liked that, though. You want to have that. You don't want to have them young. You need some leadership there.
You think that? You think that? But the way the NBA is played today, with guys just throwing up shots and playing like AU basketball, you don't need that.
Okay.
That everybody talking about that leadership and that, who's going to carry the team? That junk is out the window, man. That's not the basketball you're going to see on the court, and that's not the basketball you see on the court every day anyway. Which is why like Kyrie with Luka doesn't work, because they're the same player, and they're both, like, Luka's younger than Kyrie. Kyrie's an old head. You thought he was going to get leadership and him carrying the team and spreading joy and love, and that's not how that works, man. So Luke, and then Luka's over here showing you that he's a young hothead that a lot of players can't play with him. Because
now that's starting to become an issue, I've noticed.
Yeah.
So players are not really complimenting off him well. He's kind of like a Durant minus Durant's level of talent, is in the sense that I don't think he makes others better. He's just a great scorer. He's kind of like a Carmelo Anthony, perhaps.
So here's the thing with Luka, and he's a great player. And I say this: if you want to make that team, Mavericks, a great team, keep Luka on the team, but make it a run and gun team, because if you make it a half court game with Luka, then what happens is he doesn't make your team better, right? If you're running and gunning, he has to move, he can't stop the ball, and he might still make 25, 30 points because he can shoot. He's a good shooter.
Yeah.
Right? The problem with him is coming back on the defensive end. He gotta press more. He gotta be a little bit more better on that. But he's athletic enough, he's fast enough, and he's quick enough. He's got a basketball mind that you want. But if once you give into him and his mentality, you made it.
Yeah.
You made a one-sided half-court basketball game, and you don't want that.
He needs a true point guard And this league lacks true old school
definitely.
Chris Paul like point. John Stockton. Let's go
Kidd.
former Maverick.
Yeah.
Who's their head coach? Jason Kidd. That they need a young Jason Kidd there.
Yeah,
and you're right. Maybe Brunson. And Mark Cuban says the dad was so involved with the Knicks situation. He says we didn't have a chance to bring back Brunson. And Mark Cuban knows this. He kind of stretches the truth a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? I give credit to the Mavs for not doing that on Brunson and giving him a max deal or nothing for two reasons. One, him and Luka were not good together. They just weren't, and they
played a lot of one-on-one basketball in the playoffs last year. Yeah, and so, I agree with that.
And the second thing is that you gave your opportunity to a team to get more players and to get younger. And the thing is, he went backwards and he got Kyrie. So the Mavericks had the opportunity to go younger and find a little bit more players and dig into the development league, but they didn't. So that's
Cuban lost his patience, I think.
Well,
Cuban did.
It's not patience, man. It's money. It's money. You got to sell jerseys. You got to.
Oh, he's gotten. Well,
you got to have people.
Yeah, he's very impatient, though.
Yeah. So you got to put people in the seats.
And for some reason, they can't get free agents there.
Well, again, that team is a bunch of pieces. You got 2 or 3 6 men on there. You got a couple guys that are better bench players that are starting. You got a couple older guys there. Like, just flush it. Flush that whole. What you do with Philadelphia and
the Urban thing really hurt their defense, of what I'm reading.
Yeah, because they don't.
Dinwiddie is an underrated player, man.
Okay, so Dinwiddie. I don't. You know what? Here's what I'm gonna say, and you're probably gonna hate me.
No, man.
If Dinwiddie was
you've been watching him in Brooklyn for years.
If Dinwiddie was on the Lakers, they win a championship.
Well, he's one of those guys. Maybe he's a Robert Horry, a poor man's Robert Horry type.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's an unsung hero, man.
He's just a blue nose.
Yeah.
He's just
everybody needs a glue guy, though. Yeah, that's the problem. Everybody wants to be a superstar. You need role play. Everybody needs role players, man. You need a John Paxson, a B.J. Armstrong, Ron Harper. I'm thinking about all these Bull players, right?
Yeah. So the thing with the Mavericks is they stuck around with Hardaway, and he's not a 6-man, and he
hasn't really developed into that 6-man. No.
Yeah, and then it's like, you know,
and they're fighting for their lives right now. I mean, their playoff life right now. I mean, they're down by a few points, and the reason why the Knicks ain't playing, I forgot the Knicks are pretty much in that 5. I don't think they're going to be able to move up any.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I like that the young guys are coming in. I don't like that there's a lot of fighting always, and with some of these guys infighting. I'm like, come on, you know.
Could you see him trading Luka for a haul? I mean, that would be crazy talk, Pickles. But could you possibly see Mark Cuban say, you know what, this experiment's over. He's red hot. We can get a ton for him.
Okay, so who would?
I would have to think about it.
I can see Luka.
Would you trade him for the number 1 pick and get Victor Wembanyama, the 7'4" Frenchman that's going to be?
I want to hear about no experiments. Like, look, I've seen Luka play, and I will tell you this: as long as Tibbs is not the coach, I could see him. I can see him maybe kind of working in New York, as long as they keep the young guys and Luka playing less than 27 minutes a game.
Wow.
Okay? Now that's going to be like, no, because we're paying him too much, right?
You would trade him to the Spurs for Victor Wembanyama?
No. Look, and then I could also see I can kind of see
Pickles says put him in Embiid. I mean, that Embiid wants that rock, though. I don't know, Pickles.
Luka in Philadelphia with Embiid, that's a half-court game.
He needs to be with a really good point guard.
Can Embiid?
Do you think Dallas can't get Lillard? Could they? They don't have the capital pick him.
You don't want Lillard on that team. Luka will get 15 points a game. Because Lillard, as much as Lillard is a good point guard, he's more of a shooting guard.
He shoots more than he should. That's the problem.
Yeah. So
yeah.
You know,
Colin Coward says maybe a Klay Thompson would work with him, but Clay's get a little long in the tooth.
I would dump Kevin Durant and Alton and get Luka on Phoenix, and he would work good with Brooks.
Yeah, that with who? Booker?
I'm sorry, not Brooks. What's his name? Booker. Yeah, Booker.
Booker, yeah. Booker can play some point. It's interesting. Like what I was just saying, man. The more I think about it, the game lacks a true old school Mike Conley, a distributor. What's the problem with these? I guess there's so much money in scoring that there's just not enough assists in the NBA and not a true.
The coaches the coaches are scared to tell the players not to shoot and pass the ball. Like, just pass it.
Yeah.
What's 1-2 extra passes gonna? And listen, attack the basket, man. Like, you don't have to shoot. Even a player like
Pickles says he can play shooting. I agree, but he does shoot a lot, though. Pickles, he shoots more than a Paul Wood or Stockton or.
Who shoots more than Lillard?
Who?
Randall, thinking he can make threes. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I can't stand when guys are there just shooting threes, and it's like that's not even your forte, man. Just stop. Like,
man, I'm curious. This time next week we can talk first round playoffs. I'll definitely send you the contact or send you the questions and everything. Anything else you need to plug, man? Anything new on the horizon?
Yo, went to the opening game with the Mets today.
Did you really? Who was pitching today?
I took my son, Tyler McGill.
Okay.
I had to leave early because my son was cold. The weather was bad.
How cold was it up there?
Yo, it was brick, son.
It was like 58 here, but it felt like about 43,
Yeah, it felt about 43. It was like, it said it was 55, but it felt like it was 40. Like, and that wind.
He got to cover his ears up, man. He'll catch a cold.
Yeah, so so I brought him home early, and I didn't see any of the home runs that were hit because of that. I left in the 5th inning. All the home runs were hit in the 6th.
Did the Mets win?
The Mets won 9-3. So yeah.
Who they playing?
The Marlins. They played the Marlins today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, good job to the ballers out there. I'm gonna go catch a few Yankee games this year too. So, we're gonna see how it happens here in New York. It's a baseball town for sure, and it's good to be back in a new season.
What's your thought on that Braves start? As expected?
I think right now everybody's doing. I feel like I was expecting them to.
Yeah.
I
thought the Braves would win the division, but the Mets will get a wild card and win as a wild card.
Yo, the horse right now that's got the winning ticket is Tampa Bay, and can they keep it going? And it's
just 1 week.
But 6-0.
They got off to a great start. They got a great farm system down there.
Yeah, 6-0 is crazy. But here's a funny part about this, Robert. You're talking about a team and a community that's been roasting.
I know Pickles. He's hot on them Braves. They're playing well.
They've been roasting the city for not building them a new stadium, but they've been playing.
Who, Tampa?
Yeah, they've been playing good.
Well, at least it's indoors.
Yeah, I mean,
I was talking to my dad the other day, and I was watching MLB Network and talking to him on the phone, and I didn't realize that Miami has a dome now. That tells you how long I've been not watching the game. Marlins. It's 1,000 degrees down there this time of year. It's humid, man.
Just thinking about it is making me sweat.
Me too, right?
Yeah. No, I'm so Keith and I we kick it off on Friday
awesome,
morning.
Man.
8 o'clock
Go Mets, man. I picked them to win the whole thing. That's a nice hat you got on. Is that new?
Yeah, I just copped it today. I got it. I had a black hat. Something happened to it. I don't know.
Says Spencer Strider. He looks like that guy from that Apple show. Ted Lasso for Cy Young, Pickles.
Look, people are talking about Alcantara maybe repeating. I don't know. It's hard to be a pitcher like that, to throw how he throws and stay healthy.
That's a good trivia. Which pitchers won the Cy Young 2 years in a row?
DeGrom, right?
Really?
Yeah, back to back.
Wow. You know what? That's one I'm gonna look. I'm man. If you do that, dude, that is a heck of a.
Yeah, but I would like him to. He's a good pitcher, man. He's very underrated. And I've seen him play against the Mets, and he's had the Mets numbers a few times. And nice, slanky body, long, and the guy could throw some heat. And So he can do it. I just would like to know, and I hope that he stays healthy, man. That's the only thing, because you throw it like that, and stuff tends to happen to your body.
Jacob deGrom, good call. All State. Max Scherzer.
Yeah, Max Scherzer.
Clayton Kershaw.
Kershaw. Yeah. But the last
Kershaw
one
won the other night. Gets Arizona.
Yep. Yeah. I was watching the game. I couldn't stay up, man. Those games are really.
Game comes on at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, 12:30. They're doing a pitch off.
Yeah, when I was living up there, I hated watching those I hated the Lakers, so I wanted to see them get beat. But I'm dead tired, man. I'm a 10 o'clock guy. I'm not no 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning guy.
Yeah, I'm sitting there with one eye open and I can do this, and it's like, wow.
Wow. Okay, that was not. You could tell I'm not following. I'm just now trying to get back in the swing of things in baseball. That wasn't that long ago, man. Kershaw.
You got 70 games to do that. So before you
Johnny Guido.
Before it really matters, you got a few games, man.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I was telling my dad I'm trying to get it back in the new habits of watching the MLB network and following baseball again. It is a lot more interesting, actually, with the clock and the steals. And you got guys, somebody's hitting 500 right now, but it's just, it's a week in this season.
It's amazing the Mets got hits today. So, because they were like 3 days without getting any 3 games without getting like hits. Like, it was tough. So
yeah. I mean, this is a marathon. We're talking 162, man, and hopefully you can get. I think Scherzer got lit up the other day, though.
He got lit up. He did.
Yeah. He may be shot, man. I don't know, man. I hope not. But anyways, I've been working on some intro music. I haven't got it, and I've been working on outro music. But we'll see how it all plays out. Be some kind of techno music there. Hey, thank you, Pickles. Thank you, Chad, everybody. Carlos,
yo,
happy always, Easter. Man.
Happy Easter, everybody. Enjoy your spring break.
Right. I'll see you next week, buddy.
I'll be here, bro.
All right, man.